Hello.
Hi, Victor.
Hey. Uh, Please put something in the chat. Wow, I see. So I think we could start. Hello. We are live and we are streaming on LinkedIn and streaming on the StreamYard. If you are going to ask Ruslan a question, please join StreamYard. You can find out the link to join in the LinkedIn event. So just register and ask your question. Questions will be discussed right after the talk. I have some questions I prepared beforehand, and as soon as I'm finished, we will go to the questions from the chat. So I'm Victor from CodeSpace Marketing. This is Ruslan Desyatnikov. I think you know this guy. It's a CEO of the QA Mentor company, one of the biggest, one of the most interesting and famous company in the area of software testing, entrepreneur, uh, software tester, quality doctor, and I think we can continue. Today we will talk about business. We will talk about entrepreneurship, about how to get started, how to overcome challenges, how to keep motivation, and actually how to build own business. Please meet Ruslan Desyatnikov. Ruslan, you are welcome, and thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, Victor, for inviting me. It's always a pleasure every time when I talk to you, and we met several times before. It's always very interesting, lots of great questions, and you guys are always prepared very well. And thanks for our audience who joined today as well. It's an interesting topic about the business because many out there, young guys who are also dreaming about the future entrepreneurship career can learn a lot. We're going to share some insights, some lessons learned, mistakes, anything, any of your questions will also be addressed. And, we wanted to share as much information as possible with all of you because the journey is very interesting, although it's very challenging and not that simple as you might think.
There's nothing more interesting as a business journey because you fail, you start again, you fail, and you start again. And probably in some point in time you will win. Ruslan, I know that you founded a QA Mentor a decade ago, and I also know that you've been in the very good position in a city. You managed a large group of test engineers. You was on top, and I think it was quite a beneficial position with a good salary, with a lot of benefits. Actually, what was the main reason for you to get out from the warm bus and jump into the business journey?
It's a great question. Sometimes I'm thinking still, why did I do that, right? But every time, when I bored and I'm up for challenges, that something triggers inside me to do more things. And it was always my dream at some point of time in my career to start something, maybe not necessarily big, but something on my own. And I felt at that point of time in my career, and at Citibank, as you rightly stated, I felt very comfortable. I manage a very large group of testers and I have a very big portfolio of projects and have a very good salary. Everything was perfectly fine, but something inside me were pushing me, for for some new challenges and new things. And that's really triggered me where I said, well, I wanted to start my own entrepreneurship and I wanted to concentrate on business and wanted to see whether I can succeed or not or fail. And that's really triggered me. And also I wanted to build a company which will be slightly different from the rest of the companies, because I was emphasizing more on the culture part, where I came from the corporate environments, and corporate environments have a lot of politics. And I said in QA
Yes.
Mentor, when I built this organization, we're not going to have any politics. We're not going to find a room for any politicians there. All politicians will go outside. So that was kind of an idea as well, and sort of a challenge to see whether I will be able to achieve that sort of goals and objectives, as well as see if I can help as many companies out there to improve their QA processes. Because again, I felt that, I want to be a quality doctor. I want to help as many companies in the world as possible to mature their processes, to establish best practices, to bring maturity level to a higher level. And that was, the reason why, I started the journey at QA Mentor.
Look, a lot of people say that when you start something, you need to have some kind of vision. You need to see the road. But sometimes when I'm thinking about the business, I think you are just have some kind of blurry vision of where you are going to go. And what was your case? You clearly knew I want to be there, or it was some kind of blur vision. I would like to go this direction. What was your case?
Correct. Yeah. A lot of people coming with the business plan, and vision is extremely
Yes, yes.
important. My vision at that time was very small vision. I didn't dream about, big companies, lots of people around the world, many different offices around the world, 475 clients. I didn't think about this. All I thought is, initial stages of QA Mentor was one man shop, which is me, helping organizations to mature their processes and just be a doctor. People will call me when they need help, and I'll be there as an emergency, coming in and try to help out. So to be honest with you, I didn't have this big vision. Big vision started from triggering when one of my former employees who I used to work with trigger and said, Ruslan, you up for bigger things. Now it's a pretty small scale of operations. How about we're going to work together and we're going to establish a much larger, bigger footprint around the world, and we'll start outsourcing business, and I'm going to help you out from India to establish that footprint. So Nitin Tavdi, who is my business partner today, actually triggered and kind of pushed me forward to start the outsourcing business. Because again, the reason why I started QA Mentor, and the name stands for it, QA Mentor, mentorship, guiding, strategic support, coaching. I didn't think about big global software testing company who would serve, and support many clients in different countries, and, provide over 32 different services around the world.
Okay, you just said that you are in outsourcing business. So basically, we can say that your business is outsourcing.
Primarily, the business is outsourcing. Yes, we wanted to offer more economical testing services, clients around the world, to make it more affordable. Obviously, we have people within the United States who are supporting our clients and working at the client facilities or remotely. But the primary goal is to offer very economical testing services, which we can only offer this from the offshore areas. And as a result of this, the business is an outsourcing business. Yes.
Okay. Uh, can you can you tell me what was the most challenging during first time of the of the of the business? So actually, when you're starting, there are a lot of challenges. What was the hardest thing about the start?
The hardest thing, obviously, was the financial situation. I
Oh
had
yeah.
just a very limited budget. I was not up to, open this for investors, or I didn't really want to involve investors because I was, to be honest with you, I was afraid to waste the money. When I play with my own money, I'm responsible for it. There's only me to blame for in case I fail. In our case, I didn't want to leverage anybody else's funds because I felt obligated and be responsible. And if I fail, then I will not forgive myself for that failure. So that's why I was kind of, a lot of people wanted to invest. Believe it or not, I had a lot of investors and continuously to get calls even now to invest in business. Now, we really don't need investments. At that time, probably I needed in order to accelerate this. And the point which I wanted to make to all the future entrepreneurs, it's up to you. It's really your mindset on what you need to do, because the easiest approach is to get investment money and start operating. It's like you may be a little worried, but at the same time, it's not your money. You're not afraid to lose. You're not jeopardizing your financial situations. You're not jeopardizing your family well-being, and etc. Right? So at the same time, it has also benefits because you can achieve a lot of things much quicker. In our case, the whole foundation took much longer because we have to use our own funds. We have to wait for the money to start getting generated, and it took a long time for us even to break even. Probably we were breaking even towards the second year, end of the second year. Only the first couple of years was extremely difficult, and many times I was thinking to say, well, am I doing the right thing? Should I go back to corporate, or should I continue and fight until we succeed? And all along, I want to appreciate my family members, my wife, my daughter, my mother. They all been supportive throughout, and under no circumstances they let me think that they want me to go back and lose this game. So they were always supportive, and that gives me more motivation and more sort of strength to fight this game, which was extremely difficult. So I would say, to answer your question back, the financials, initial, investments are so crucial, in order to be successful, because there's a lot of money which you need to spend on equipment, on test lab, on marketing, on advertising. When you have no clients at all and you need to earn the business, it's not that you're starting a business when you're lucky end up a client, or you already have some clients who started. We pretty much started with 0 clients. It's very difficult.
Some kind of paradox for a lot of business people. They are supported by their families, but in the same time, they are doing the business to support the families. And actually, it's like you are paying back to your family. It's really, I would say, honestly, it's really nice case when family supports you, because sometime when you're going to start something, you just don't have enough money, and probably you don't have a lot of people are going to invest in you. Just family, fools, and number 3, I just forget. Family. Okay. It's really important, I would say. Can we say that without the family support, it wasn't possible for you to build a company?
I think so. I mean, the moral support was there. Obviously, you change totally, different. I mean, all of a sudden without the income, and you just relying on your wife's income, which is not a big income, and all your life has changed. You have to
Yes,
sacrifice a
yes.
lot of things. You have to, just, really survive and cut down on all the travels, on the restaurants, and like the normal life which we used to have. you
Yes,
know
yes.
going out and enjoy life, travel, we have to cut down on all of these areas. And it's not easy for the family. It's not easy psychologically, especially when you already have this and now it's totally different, right? So absolutely, family support is very, very important. If my family would not be very supportive and say, Ruslan, we are struggling here, I would return back. Because again, for the 2 years, months after months, we were losing money, and situations were extremely difficult. I remember the times where
Oh, Ruslan? Something wrong with Ruslan. Let us check. Just a moment. We are waiting for Ruslan to rejoin. Probably something wrong with the connection. Okay, you are back.
my laptop died. It's probably overheated, and I had to take as a backup another laptop, so I just plugged this in. Always a contingency. I really, really sorry. You see, the
Don't
laptop
worry.
will take me, my long 18 hours days, causing the overheating of my poor laptop. So I apologize, guys.
Don't
I'm back.
worry. Don't worry. Bad things happen. It's business. Okay.
Unpredictable
Uh,
circumstances happens in business, right?
yes. I have a
The
quite
important is
interesting and
how to
quite
resolve and how to get back on track, which we just did. So,
okay.
this is a real situation, right?
Just just
So,
just just forget. I have a very interesting and quite controversial question for you. I know that you are graduate from the Harvard University and Wharton School of Business. As I understand, this is something like an MBA. A lot of entrepreneurs are quite controversial, and there are a lot of different thoughts about actually MBA. What's your opinion after being graduated for several years?
absolutely, it's a great question. So, just to clarify, so I didn't get the MBA from the Harvard University. I got the MBA from the Phoenix University, MBA in Technology Management, and it was an interesting journey because it was the remote MBA. I actually did MBA while back in HSBC when I ran testing center of excellence for one of the flagship projects there, global internet banking, with over 200 developers and testers around the world. So during that time, the motivation was that HSBC was kind enough to pay for my education, and that's triggered me to study hard and take the MBA. Now, the reason why I went for the MBA is I felt that it will provide a little bit more, knowledge, and also boost my future, goals of becoming a leader, becoming a manager, becoming a decision maker, and potentially help me out in my entrepreneurship journey. So from classes which I took from Harvard, it was more, a course which helped me to become a better and stronger entrepreneur. There was very interesting program there which I attended with a lot of insights and a lot of knowledge, which helped me down the road, to become a CEO, to start making better decisions. And I'm really glad that I was able to actually graduate from that school.
So basically, it was a good idea or bad idea, or you don't
It was
know?
a very good idea. I think it's definitely a great learning where you can inherit knowledge which you can apply at your working environment. They don't share the experience. Basically, you cannot gain that working experience. You're gaining the knowledge, the tools, as well as the strategies which you can apply during your end-to-end working day-to-day activities throughout, your journey. So definitely, I would recommend for those who have guts and energy and patience to actually do this, or do this alone while you actually working full time. It was very difficult. I was working again long hours, 13 hours a day, and after that I was going and study for another 3 hours. So pretty much I thought that, distance learning or e-learning mode will be much easier. I was wrong. It was much harder. It's actually easier to go in, and go to classes and interact with instructor, rather than actually do a self-study also in the groups with instructor, but it's remote. And it takes a lot of discipline and a lot of effort and a lot of patience to be able to complete this 2 years of MBA through the learning. I even remember, because the classes were one after another, and I cannot really take breaks. I went one time with my family for vacation, and I actually literally had to log in there and participate in various of different homeworks and activities. Otherwise, if you miss a session, you can be disqualified and you can fail the class. So it was very challenging.
Okay, thank you for the honest answer. Now we know that education is important. Okay, let's try to speak about a little bit in depth about your business. Do you have a sales department in QA
Yes,
Mentor company?
yes, we have a
How
sales.
big it is?
The sales department right now, it's not super big. We have 4 sales guys, and also we have 3 lead generators. So total of 7 guys, which we have as part of the sales initiatives. Now, multiple people within organizations wearing the sales hat as well, by promoting our brand, by participating in various of different meetings, conferences, writing articles. All of this contributes towards advertising and marketing of our brand. I know some companies have big teams of sales guys and lead generators. In our case, I would say it's an average team, maybe on a smaller size, but we very proactive. We meeting throughout the whole week. We're discussing, we're coming up with various of different strategies. I had to dive in and learn marketing and strategy and advertisements and search engine optimization and many different things in order to figure out how to do and apply the right strategies. There was a lot of costly mistakes, a lot of money was wasted into applying wrong strategies by trial and error, but we are much better now and stronger and more intelligent than when we started.
One CEO once told me that business has the only problem. It's a problem of bad marketing.
True. marketing is an extremely important part. Without marketing, you really might not be successful. You would, regardless you are a service organization or you're selling a product, you have to have marketing strategy in place, and you have to be visible. Your product and services needs to be visible
Yes.
out there, and marketing is absolutely integral part of a overall company success and the future success. So, and it's also expensive and cost money. And you absolutely, as a CEO, you need to budget those activities for the marketing, advertising, sales, and it's all kind of in conjunction. Will boost, business accomplishments and business goals and objectives, which organization should put in place. As a matter of fact, we're going through next year goals and objectives settings for 2025, and we have number of goals and objectives around marketing and advertising as well. And we're planning a budget a little different because we're trying to apply a little different strategies as well for the next year to see an experiment as well. So the person who told you, the CEO, he's absolutely right. There is a bad marketing. If you don't know what you're doing, you can spend and waste a lot of money and get absolutely no results in return. So it's a very smart approach which you need to apply in various of different strategies. There's tons of different strategies which only expert, experienced companies or professionals in marketing can, really help you out to drive and educate you on. So you definitely need to either contact and deal with the right companies in that space, or hire very experienced employees who will be sort of a champion and drive the marketing initiatives in your organization.
Can you explain in several words what kind of successful, what kind of successful strategy, or probably most successful strategy you are using in your company to attract clients?
Sure. So we
Some
try
basic
various
things.
So we try various of different strategies, and I'm pretty sure, I have no problem to open up the strategies and secrets. All our competitors are welcome to follow this, because there's plenty of business for QA. It's always, I said, in New York, I was living, and on the block, we have 3 pharmacies. Imagine 3 pharmacies, and all of them were making money. And in another block, we have 6 stores, departmental stores, and they were all making money. So, there's always competition, and, we're not afraid of sharing, our knowledge and our strategies with anybody else. As a matter of fact, we want everybody to leverage and utilize our strategies, whether it's technical strategies relating to quality assurance and software testing, or it's a specific sales marketing strategies as well. So what really working now is approaching and decision makers through the cold calling. As you know, there's email marketing campaigns which can be launched. There's direct messaging on social media, especially on LinkedIn, where many decision makers receiving thousands of similar messages, and they don't have time to even look at this. There's the emails which also not getting opened. The best solution at this point of time, in my opinion, which really converts in and have a higher degree of conversions, is cold calling, where you're targeting the decision makers. But you're not randomly targeting those decision makers. You're targeting them based on specific companies' needs. So you observe, you're trying to understand, because some companies posting positions where they're looking for specialized areas in IT or in QA, and you monitoring what types of skill set and what types of specialized area, whether it's performance testing, automation testing, security testing, they're looking for. So you have this insights, and then you're targeting the decision makers, in our case, the CIOs, CTOs, and you're trying to get in touch with them, either by calling them or trying to attend meetings and conferences, which they're attending as well. So you have to observe, because you can also monitor and see who is attending what. People tend to post, I'm attending this conference, and you're going to try to establish that conversation. So personal, face-to-face, or at least through the voice, it's working much, much better than a simple email marketing. Other successful strategies are various of different conferences, which we're also attending and going to, where we're meeting decision makers, establish the contact first, and then simply, having a follow-up discussion. So again, personal, face-to-face initiation of the conversation is extremely, extremely important nowadays. So those are the areas which definitely helping us to target more customers and clients. Conferences or meetings like we have right now, if you share something useful, you can see a lot of people leveraging that information. A lot of people will see this webinar, or for example a conference where you provide some educational material, and that's the brand awareness. This is how companies might contact you, because they like either your presentation or your strategy or your best practices or your thinking process. So again, those types of meetings which we're having right now, I think it's a great way of sharing knowledge as well as sharing the brand, and simply be straight to the point and explain mistakes, explain success stories, explain and showcase lessons learned. This is all great stuff, I think.
We say that the most important advice from all you just said, it's personalization. When it comes, for example, to a cold calls, emails, messaging, it's a personalization. You need to be inside of people are doing on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on conferences, understand their needs, and came with a quite personal, let's say, message, approach, or probably something that really is needed right now. This is the only way it works, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. You would not believe how many calls I get a day, or how many messages on LinkedIn I get as well. And unfortunately, they are all kind of the same. So when somebody calls me and I pick up the phone, literally, and same goes for me when I call decision makers, it goes the same way. You literally have 15 to 20 seconds to convince person on another line to continue the conversation. Or you have 20 seconds to fail, and the person will say thank you or hang up, or even not going to say thank you, just hang up on you, right? So literally, it all comes to the personalization, where there got to be something out there where within 20 seconds, you establish that mutual respect, mutual relationship, mutual connection with another individual to continue the dialogue. Or rather than that person need to understand, well, there is no BS or simply sales speech he or she will hear from another person. There's something where that person can actually help out. And when you call somebody and trying to sell something, you need to understand their needs, their problems, and the pain points. So you're going to hit on those areas by offering them the service or a product which will benefit and solve their day-to-day problems, right? So that's why preparation, upfront preparation, not random speech where people calling and they reading exactly the same text, and they call and basically saying to everybody else exactly the same thing. It's absolutely waste of money. It's absolutely a failed strategy, and it should never be applied. I mean, companies who are doing this, they should not be in business, because they're losing money and they're not getting anything out of it. So really, the marketing approach, you need to do a lot of prep work in advance. You need to do a lot of research. You need to dig into a lot of details, and then it will become effective. You need to be prepared for that conversation. You cannot just blindly go and hope that somebody will listen to you, right? You need to hit that in the first 20 seconds with something special where the person will realize you can help. I'm willing to listen more because I think you can help me out if they have challenges. That's the important thing.
Okay. And one of the last questions from my side, I think. When we first virtually met, it was approximately 5 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, I mentioned that you had a very powerful LinkedIn. It was something around, if I'm not mistaken, 30,000 connections. Right now, you have 45,000 connections, and also you own a really big uh, group of QA engineers. It's around 65,000 people. I'm wondering how helpful it really is for your business to find the clients, to promote services, to hire. How you leverage the power of LinkedIn? Because a lot of people just talking everything is social media. You need to post on social media. You need to do in social media. You need to promote. You need to post. You need to run webinars. You need to do a lot of things. How actually LinkedIn is helpful for you?
Absolutely. LinkedIn, and I probably started LinkedIn probably 18 years ago. Somebody from HSBC, where I used to work, introduced me to the LinkedIn. And at that time, it's, they said it's a uh, second Facebook, and I was not a big fan of Facebook, or I was, to be honest with you, back in the days, I was not a big fan of social media at all. When I started to work in the corporate environments, I found, a lot of value from LinkedIn. And then when I started my own business, then I become more active. You're absolutely correct. Your LinkedIn profile, your LinkedIn brand can definitely help you out there to promote your services, to promote your company, to promote your ideas. I never tried or running after followers or connections. I mean, some people wants to gain more connections. I don't care how many connections I have, because I care about quality connections. So connections where you can exchange some opinions with your connections. It's like Facebook. You have friends, or some people just add anybody who they want to, right? So, on Facebook, I also have a very selected number of friends, not thousands of people. But on LinkedIn, I have a lot of connections who I meet personally, and I try to have the connections and accept connections only with people who potentially I can exchange some opinions, some ideas, and help each other as well. So again, I was surprised myself why I was getting some, traction there where people were just following me. They were following me for my advices, and I tried to be very honest, on LinkedIn. I didn't like to, be political there, or, I made bold statements. If I believe in this, I say this. If I don't believe in this, I say that. It was black and white always for me. In some cases, I disagree and I waste my opinion. Some people didn't like it. Some people said that I rude there because, I disagree with somebody, and we have some heated discussions. It's always the case there, and which is normal. As long as you're not cross the line where you will lose the disrespect for the person, but you can have arguments and discussions, and that's normal, right? But back to your question is, I absolutely agree that your brand, which is your profile, can provide a lot of value, can provide a lot of visibility for your future growth as an organization, as well as for your future contacts. There's a lot of people who are sharing a lot of information, posting their thoughts, their articles on social media. They gain some popularity, and it helps them even to find the better jobs because they become more visible. Now, what I also found out, and that's true, the other side of the coin, you might be very active and you might be, sharing a lot of knowledge out there. And then based on the fact I made some hiring decisions. So I hired several people who were extremely active on LinkedIn and, really share some knowledge and were very smart. And I gave them the chance. And guess what? They failed miserably when it comes to the execution part. So we can see one side of the coin that, oh, wow, the person might be, very famous there, but the other side of the coin where it's just a talk, not the walk, right? And there's not an execution part next to it. So I started to be very careful not to just think, oh, if the person is really active and have a lot of followers and posting a lot of articles, that means he or she can really play the game within the team at your setup, which is in your organization, right? But in some cases, I saw and I witnessed that people were up to the par and they definitely, correlated to their success on LinkedIn and their branding on LinkedIn. And in reality, they were doing very, very well as well. Unfortunately, I have bad experiences with that type of hiring from LinkedIn. Those superstars or people who, really shine out there, but they were not able to execute, even though with a lot of directions, a lot of strategies, a lot of one-on-one meetings, they were not able and they disappointed, and it caused a lot of problems and damage, and we lost clients because of that. But, we pay for our mistakes. It was my decision to hire and it didn't work. So, we had those cases as well. But the branding is important. And I would agree that you should, improve your brand. You should do whatever it needs to be done the proper way. But again, your brand is your mirror, right? You have to be extremely honest out there. You should not play political games there, right? If you're going to be honest, if you're going to be truthful there, and it's so obvious and you can see a lot of things when people write, whether they're truthful or not talking about making up stories, but certain things you can easily see. It's like a politics, right? You can see who is who. And I had good friends and I have some disappointments from LinkedIn as well. So, but LinkedIn is definitely a platform to be there, and it will be extremely helpful for entrepreneurs or for companies out there who wants to promote their services or their products. It's a beautiful platform.
Okay, thank you very much for the extended answer. I planned my next question about personal branding on LinkedIn, but I think it's already answered. So thank you very much. I think my questions are over, and I think we could move to the questions from the chat. Ruslan, do you see the chat? Yes.
I see,
Uh,
but I will be better see with my glasses. Unfortunately,
okay.
I need to wear the glasses. So let me.
Do you mind if I will ask you to uh, just answer questions from the chat instead of reading?
Yes, 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 absolutely, absolutely. So somebody wrote, Dasha wrote that, she relocated to US and she's planning to open her own QA company. And I tried to find clients through networking, but I'm wondering about the other options, how to find clients. Could you please advise something here? Yes, again, very good question. Important questions. I wish I would know what I know now after 14 years since starting QA Mentor. So how to hunt or how to look for the clients. There are different ways, there are different areas. Obviously, conferences, attending QA conferences. You can connect with a lot of decision makers there. There's a lot of QA managers there. Introducing, giving the business cards, starting the conversation, extremely, extremely important. That's number one. Number two, being at the conference talks when you have some topics to share. So if you're a CEO of QA company, you have to be visible, right? This is another way to promote yourself, to promote your business, and give more eyes at what you are doing. So that's another recommendation which I would do. Now, there's a lot of platforms where you can offer services. Upwork. Many companies, smaller size companies, started from the Upwork and then identify a lot of clients there. It's easier to find clients on Upwork because you see exactly what companies are looking for, what type of services. Obviously, there is a lot of competition, but this is something to consider as well. Other areas is LinkedIn, right? Target decision makers, CIOs, CTOs, connect with them, initiate conversations with them. It's not easy because they get thousands of emails, but this is another way of trying. Other topic which I mentioned, which is working for me, is cold calling. I personally call decision makers and initiate that conversation. So again, you have to be very careful. Remember 20 seconds rule, which I mentioned. Within 20 seconds, you have to articulate something special for that person on another line to listen and continue the dialogue. So you have to prep in advance who you're calling and what potential, 20-second speech you will say to get to that person's hearts or mental state to continue the dialogue, continue the discussion and conversation. So those are the I would say strategies which we are applying. Obviously, there is email marketing, which for us it doesn't work very well. But you have to be visible. You have to be out there. You cannot sit idle in your office and just think that things will come. Search engine optimization, SEO can work for inbound leads, but there is a lot of investments and also it takes time for you to be ranked on Google as well to start getting those visibilities. So those are my advices. I also would like to ask about the quality in US because for me looks the quality is up. Yes, so quality in USA. So about the quality. Nowadays, the quality degraded. Why? Because many companies cutting budgets. Economy is not so great, as you all know. And unfortunately, the first people to go is the QA folks, because people think that without QA, things can still go and releases can go live. Without developers, nothing can go live. So there's a lot of cuts for our profession. QA professionals are getting cut in multiple different organizations, and that creates problems on the quality side. So in general, back in the days when I started my career 28 years ago, developers were doing QA. Now, due to the budget cuts, many of the managers started to think along the same lines and thinking, well, without QA, things will still go on. Let developers do QA again. This leads to disasters. This leads to consequences. It's going to be very, very big problems, and companies will realize it when they hit those problems and reputation damages. You still need, QA even during this tough time. Smart QA, yes, you can downsize it, but don't get rid of QA completely. If you need, you can play with less players. Okay. And by the way, there is no stupid questions. All questions are great, and don't call any question stupid. There's all fantastic questions out there. How did you open QA Mentor? I mean, was it partnership? Maybe big organization. Yeah. So again, I opened my company, no partnership. I decided to open on my own without any help of investors, without taking any loans. I used my own money. I didn't have a lot of money, but it was good enough to start. And after 2 years, finally tractions took place. Yes, I thought multiple times going back to corporate because I didn't see how I will succeed. I was at the points, and actually when I disconnected, when my laptop overheated, I was trying to mention a couple things there. So I remember the time when I had absolutely no funds. We have about 10 people. I had to pay salaries. I had no money. I opened myself for work. So I found a project for 1 month. It was a game testing project. I went in Manhattan and worked for 1 month. We signed the contract, $10,000. I took the $10,000 and I was able to pay salaries to my guys, 10 people in India. And after that, there was a time where, again, we hit pretty bad situation where there was no money to pay. I called a meeting. We have about 22 people. And I said to everybody, I would understand if you guys will leave because you need money, you need to operate. I know that. And you need to do what you need to do. But I promise we're going to pay every single penny, and whatever I own, we're going to, pay all of you guys. And guess what? Out of 22 guys, nobody left. Everybody believed and stay with us. And they worked for 3 months. I remember in some cases, some people work a longer time without the salaries, believing in us, and we recover and we cover and we pay off everything what we were supposed to, give them. So that was very emotional at that time because, people believed in your words and didn't quit or didn't leave you and really trusted you that you would be able to, stick to your words. So again, there's different situations out there, not easy, which you should be able to overcome. And, one thing is extremely important advice. You cannot, if you're not sure you can make it, you cannot jeopardize your family situation. You cannot make yourself bankrupt and your family bankrupt, right? You cannot have such a big risk. All this risk needs to be mitigated. You have to have plan B, plan C. You have to have a backup plans. If something will not work, what will happen? You cannot take a huge risks, which will lead to a disaster situations. I know a lot of people who failed miserably and they caused big problems for their families, including divorce, separations, suicides, and many other things. It's business. It's a very challenging and tough game. You have to be smart to play this game, and you have to be able to mitigate risks. Don't risk your life and don't risk your families by playing this game. This is very important to remember. Okay, we have Alexander. Okay. Okay, so the question is, I want to open an LLC. The person lives in Ukraine. He wants to open the LLC in USA in Delaware, which is can be done very easily. Subscription, I have a small starting capital. Do you think it's possible? Would I be able to cope? I think you can open the corporation by spending $300. It can be done online. So opening the corporation is very simple and easy. It's not requires lawyers or anybody else. You can actually fill out the paperwork yourself, or accountant can actually do it. Again, a few $100s you can spend. You have $5,000 basically a budget. I had more money. I had $50,000 when I started my company. $5,000, you still can try. It all depends on how you're gonna do it. So my recommendation, again, start small. Start maybe with the Upwork. Start again, socializing on LinkedIn, and slowly but surely you're gonna gain some clients and you can expand. $5,000 is not a big capital, but you can invest smartly. Again, I would invest in at least a couple phones to test compatibility testing, because there is a lot of clients who needs compatibility testing on iPhone or Android phone, invest in that. And then a little bit put aside for the marketing and advertising, and I'm pretty sure Victor can provide a lot of insights in a lot of directions. He's the expert and he's a pro in this area, and he works under various of different budgets, and budget is not a problem for him, and he can still help you out. So he definitely a great help and source of information. Hello from Israel. Mashalomcha, אני למד עברית בבית ספר ישיבה. What do you think if startup are good for focus sales? What do you think if a startup could focus sales? Yeah, I mean, startups is, to my point of view, are the best to deal with. You know why? Because there's no bureaucratical process. Do you know how long it takes us to get onboarded for the Fortune 500 companies? 1 to 2 years. To sign a contract with a startup, literally a couple days. There is no big paperwork. There is no thousands of approvals. There is no committees. I would say for the startups, if you're a startup and you're planning to open your own business, concentrate on the startup companies, ideal space. Obviously, we all dream about big clients, Google, Microsoft, and etc., but we have to be realistic. Startups rarely will end up with such a big clients. From time to time, throughout your career, when you get, stronger and better, you would be in a position to land those clients as well. But the concentration is correct. Start with the startups. I think you will get better, outcomes from that approach. So cute story. Okay.
That's all for
No
today.
more questions. That's it.
Yes.
No other questions, guys.
Yes. No more questions since.
All right.
Okay, so Ruslan, thank you very much. It was a pretty interesting talk, as usually with you. I have sec. Yes, 1 second only. Igor, nice to meet you again.
Hi, Igor. You have a question? Please shoot.
Yes, I think he is typing. We have
Okay.
4 minutes. 4 minutes, so
Absolutely.
probably.
Our time flies. Again, with Victor, the time goes like this, and I never have enough time to answer and cover. I mean, this hour went by like literally like 5 minutes for me, and I had a lot of fun.
Yes, pretty interesting discussion. Honest answers are always most interesting. It's not something from the book, I would say. It's life usually is much more interesting than any book.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Let me put my glasses. What services are better to sell? I mean, quality engineering or automation services? Very good question and very interesting question. So nowadays, unfortunately, because of the budget cuts, automation becomes less priority, even though companies think that, now since they get rid of manual testers, this is the emphasis for the automation. But in my opinion, it's totally different ballgame nowadays. In my opinion, the good services to sell right now are the ones which leveraging AI related tools, because traditional automation tools such as Selenium, Unified Functional Test, Ranorex, any of these enterprise level tools or open source tools, very soon, how soon? Probably within the next 5 years, will be replaced by AI, right? Intelligence AI. So nowadays there are already tools which allows you to build manual test cases automatically, which allows you to convert manual test cases into automation scripts. So if I was you and you're going to start your business, I would concentrate and put more attention to identifying the tools which you can leverage and use to bring more efficiencies to the organizations, because it's like ammunition. It's like you're going to the war, right? There's the smart tools and there are the old tools, right? So the more smarter tools you have, the more chances you will have to win, right? The same goes here. If you will have that ammunition of the smart AI tools, which will be very effective to streamline the processes, this is where the needs are nowadays. And this is what in the next 5 years for sure will be in demand. And if you learn that area and you structure your service offerings around that area, you can be very successful there. We have another question there.
Just not to me, the question from Brenda. I think this could be the last question because we are uh, approaching.
With the new marketing tools, this is no market. Yeah, this is another amazing question, right? So marketing and strategies around it getting smarter. Why? Because there are technologies which are available, and there's smart technologies, AI, machine learning space, right? So now there's a lot of instruments and tools out there which allows you to, with a single click, have a reach out all the decision makers or have ability to respond back, and start conversations. I would agree that marketing companies need to look for those tools and leverage those tools as well, because one thing is the strategy around this, but then effectiveness and efficiencies for being able to scale will only be achieved through the smart tools. So again, AI within the marketing world, you guys, in the marketing advertising space need to pay attention. And I'm pretty sure,
Yes.
Victor and his team are all looking into those innovative solutions and strategies and the tools and the techniques, because only through those tools you can really achieve a lot for your clients. So again, pay attention and continuously, look after and investigate and learn and review and evaluate those types of tools, because there's a lot of tools there, but there's only certain which really provides value. So you have to be able to identify those right tool sets for your clients.
Okay. Sounds like it was last question. So again, Ruslan, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for coming. Thank you for interesting talk and honest answers. I hope this is not our
Absolutely
last
not.
talk.
Yes, thank you so
Since
much
we
for
are,
inviting me again, and good luck, best of luck to you guys. We all praying for you guys there in Ukraine and wishing, as soon as possible to end this nightmare and have a victory there. Okay, so best of luck,
thank you
and
for the
thank
work.
you guys for participation
Thank
as
you.
well and all the great questions. You're doing the right thing. You have to attend all those, fantastic, talks, because you can gain a lot out of this. And again, I appreciate Victor for finding time and, starting that series. And I'm pretty sure he will have a lot of interesting guests, in the future, upcoming discussions. So watch out for those and definitely sign up for those, future talk shows. Okay.
It's my pleasure. Thank you and see you. Bye.
Thank you very much, guys. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.